us as a culture.
And am I doing the love justice?
No.
You are.
Well, and I'll do the vision of the holy mountain and peace. This is where Micah looks and actually sounds just like Isaiah. You see this in, Isaiah. I think it's 2. When they will talk about the mountain of the Lord, both Isaiah and Micah, and it's part of this Davidic theology. It's the temple. And it's Jerusalem itself. Jerusalem's sitting on a high place, and so there's this sense of the literal Jerusalem and temple, but then also it has this kind of futuristic, salvific, quality. And the most important thing with both Isaiah and Micah is the view is literally universal salvation. The hope is for every nation. And nation, we should say in this context, they didn't have nation states like we do with political lines. And nations, the Hebrew word for it is goyim, or goy, non-Jews. So when you hear the word nation, nation's like a code language. Ethne is the word in Greek, so ethnicity, so anything that's ethnically not you, that's the nations. So they say, in the days to come, so that's this future sense, the mountain of the Lord's house, the temple, shall be established as the highest of the mountains, shall be raised above the hills. People shall stream to it. Many nations shall come and say, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord. And it goes on there. And God shall judge between all the peoples. God shall arbitrate between the strong nations far away. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, and neither shall they learn war any more.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's this. What's so gorgeous to me too, it's not just that Judah and the Israelites, that God's just going to restore them. No, it's a vision for all the nations and all the people, and a vision of peace where we don't, we let the swords fall, and it's, we don't practice this.
No.
But these are the images we need to lift up to be working towards. I mean, these are the kinds of things where you can ask yourself, how do I know if I'm on the right pathway? Yeah. And we lift up this image and say, is what you're doing leading you towards that? If then you're doing the good things, and if it's leading you away, then you might want to question the direction.
I just love like the swords and the plowshares.
Plowshares. Yeah.
Plowshares. Okay, because you're taking an image that's a battle image, which is meant for destruction, and then turning it into an agricultural image, which is meant for growth and new life.
I feel like tanks having plows behind them, maybe. Or tanks with mowers on them.
Yes. Tanks into John Deere tractors.
Isn't that that's a nice...
That would be a souped up tractor.
That would be one heck of a tractor.
Yeah. We like farmers. We know about farming.
Yeah, I think we've already proved we don't.
This is true.
Actually. The last thing we want you to hear from Micah is from chapter 6, and this is the uber famous part. And it also plays upon Amos, again, with the sense of what is pure worship.
Yeah.
And this, to me, this is such a great... Christians need to hear these words in here, because Christians often have an anti-Semitic stereotype of Jews as being legalistic, and bound up in sort of these minutiae of the law, and nothing could be further from the truth if you actually know anyone who is a practicing Jewish person.
So generous.
And it's about not just the letter of the law, but the spirit of the law, and it's as complicated of a religious tradition, at least, as our own.
I think a lot of times more.
Well, and I mean, the thing I would always want to caution us against is, how little does an average Presbyterian know about Roman Catholicism, for instance.
Right.
I mean, often Presbyterians just don't know that much. Well, assume that you know even less about these other traditions, and that might be a better place to start than just assuming, that we know so much. So, rather than just focus on the minutiae of the law, these legalistic, kind of robotic requirements, God is talking to the people in 6, and is being, kind of frustrated and contesting with them. And then the response is this: Well, with what shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before God on high? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, calves a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, 10,000 of rivers of oil? Micah is being silly. I mean, you'd never come with even a river of oil, much less 10,000 rivers of oil. So he's saying, like, take all of these great things that we sacrifice, and let's just push it to the absolute max.
The traditional forms of worship.
Yes, you know, and will God then be pleased?
Yeah.
Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? And then Micah has this response. He has told you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? Do justice, love kindness, walk humbly with your God.
That's it.
Do justice, love kindness, walk humbly with your God. You know, true religion, you know, is not involved in arcane rituals, and you may choose to do those things if they're helpful to you, but true religion at its heart is justice, kindness, and walking humbly with God.
I love that, like, if you think about the 10 Commandments of a summary of what Judaism is.
Yes.
This one little half verse really sums up the whole of all of Judaism, and I think the whole of Christianity.
I think so too.
And probably the whole of a lot of religions. Like, I would say that Hinduism, Buddhism would fit with those kind of ideas. Probably not the God part. The love, do justice.
But there's sort of this ethical
kindness.
core behind this.
Yeah, about how to be in right relationship with the people around you and the God above you. Yeah.
I don't have anything more to add to this is one of those gems of the Bible. If you know no other text, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, look at my. This is my Bible that I've had, for years and years and years. And my father, my stepfather, I consider him my father, but John, Christmas 1994. That's when I got that Bible. May this book guide you in the paths of justice, kindness, and humility. Micah 6:8. So it's. The inscription on my own Bible.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. All right, well, next we're going to meet you with the other minor prophets, and that'll be great. Maybe we'll get less phone calls.
Maybe.